The massive view screen on the bridge of the UES Normandy lit up with alien faces. Captain Emily Foster stood straight, her blue uniform crisp and neat, as she faced humanity's first contact with the Galactic Council. The aliens looking back at her had gray skin and large purple eyes. They didn't look friendly. "Primitive human vessel," the lead alien spoke in perfect English, making Emily's eyebrows rise. "I am High Commander Zax Thor of the Galactic Council. Your species will now submit to our authority. This is not a request." Emily shared a quick look with her first officer, John Miller, who stood beside her chair. His face remained calm, but she could see the tension in his shoulders. They had trained for first contact scenarios for years, but none of them had expected this level of hostility. "High Commander," Emily replied, keeping her voice steady, "we come in peace and hope to establish diplomatic relations. However, we do not respond well to threats." The alien's face twisted into what might have been a sneer. "You mistake this for a negotiation, human. Your species has been observed for some time. Your technology is barely adequate for space travel. You will submit, or we will demonstrate our power." Behind Emily, the bridge crew worked quietly at their stations. Through subtle hand signals, she knew her weapons officer, Rachel Ward, had already powered up the Normandy's hidden weapon systems. What the Council didn't know was that the ship's primitive appearance was a carefully crafted deception. "Perhaps we should discuss this further," Emily suggested, buying time as she received silent confirmations from her crew. "Our species has much to offer in peaceful exchange." The alien council members spoke among themselves in their language for a moment. A different alien, this one with blue-tinted skin, leaned forward. "We have studied your broadcasts, your wars, your conflicts. Your species is too violent, too unpredictable to be allowed free rein in the galaxy. You will be contained and controlled for the greater good." John Miller stepped forward. "And if we refuse, then we will start with your colony on Mars," Zax Thor said coldly. "Its destruction will serve as an example to your kind." Emily's hand tightened on her chair's armrest. The Council had just made their first major mistake, revealing they knew about Mars. Their second mistake was threatening it. "High Commander," Emily said, her voice now hard as steel, "let me be very clear. Any action against our Mars colony will be considered an act of war. We do not bow to threats." "You dare?" Zax Thor's voice rose. "You are nothing. A speck of dust compared to our might. We have ruled this galaxy for 10,000 years." Emily smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Then perhaps it's time for a change." She made a subtle gesture, and Rachel's fingers flew across her console. The Normandy's outer hull began to shift. Panels that had appeared decorative slid aside, revealing rows of advanced weapon ports. The ship's energy signature, previously masked to appear weak, now blazed to its full strength. The Council members' eyes widened as their instruments showed them the truth. The primitive human vessel had just transformed into one of the most advanced warships they had ever encountered. "Impossible," the blue-skinned alien gasped. "Their technology. They've been hiding it." "This is your only warning," Emily announced, standing tall. "Earth and its colonies are not your subjects. We will not submit. We will not bow. And if you threaten us again, you will learn exactly why it's unwise to underestimate humanity. You cannot hope to stand against the entire Council fleet." Zax Thor sputtered. "Try us," Emily replied simply. "And know this, the Normandy isn't our only surprise." End transmission. The screen went dark. Emily immediately turned to her communications officer. "Send an encrypted warning to Mars Command. Alert Earth Defense Force Headquarters." Code red. "Yes, Captain," the officer responded crisply. John Miller moved closer. "They won't back down easily, Captain. Their pride won't let them." Emily nodded, her face grim. "I know, but neither will we. Humanity didn't come this far to kneel before the first bunch of bullies we met in space." She turned to address her entire bridge crew. "All stations, battle readiness. The Council just got their first lesson about humanity. I have a feeling they're going to need a few more. As the Normandy's crew prepared for what was to come, Emily Foster knew this was just the beginning. The Council had expected to find an easy target, a primitive species they could dominate. Instead, they had just started a conflict that would shake the foundations of their power across the galaxy. Humanity was ready, and the Council had no idea what they had just unleashed. Lieutenant David Cooper hadn't slept in 24 hours. His eyes burned as he stared at the streams of data flowing across his screen in the Mars Defense Command Center. After the UES Normandy's confrontation with the Galactic Council, everyone was on high alert. "Sir," David suddenly sat up straight. "I'm picking up strange signals." Colonel Anna Wilson rushed to his station. Her gray hair was tied back in a tight bun, and worry lines creased her face. "What kind of signals, Lieutenant?" "They're trying to hide them in normal space noise." But David's fingers flew across the keyboard. "These are Council ships, ma'am. A lot of them. They're gathering just beyond Jupiter's orbit." Anna's face hardened. "How many?" "At least 30 vessels, probably more hiding behind Jupiter's moons." David pulled up a tactical display. Red dots appeared, showing enemy positions. "They're forming an attack pattern." "So they didn't listen to Captain Foster's warning," Anna muttered. She pressed a button on the command console. "This is Colonel Wilson. All personnel to battle stations. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill." Red lights began flashing throughout the base. Sirens wailed. On the surface of Mars, hidden doors in the red soil slid open, revealing defense turrets and shield generators. "Send everything we have to Earth Command," Anna ordered. "And get me Admiral Hayes." Minutes later, Admiral Robert Hayes' face appeared on the main screen. He looked calm, but his eyes blazed with determination. "Colonel Wilson, report." "Sir, the Council is preparing to attack Mars." Lieutenant Cooper intercepted their communications. "They think they're being clever, hiding behind Jupiter, but we see them." The Admiral smiled, but there was no warmth in it. "Well done, Lieutenant Cooper." He turned to someone off-screen. "Is the fleet ready?" A voice answered, "Yes, sir. All ships standing by." David's jaw dropped as he watched his tactical display. All across the solar system, signals began appearing. Hidden bases on asteroids powered up. Ships emerged from secret docks on Titan and Europa. Earth's true fleet was revealing itself. "Did you really think," Admiral Hayes said to no one in particular, "that humanity would venture into space without preparing for war?" The Admiral turned back to the screen. "Colonel, your orders are simple. Hold out for 1 hour. Make them think Mars is barely defending itself. Let them get overconfident." Anna nodded. "And then, sir?" "And then we show them why you don't threaten human colonies." The transmission ended. Anna turned to her crew. "You heard the Admiral. Battle positions, everyone. But remember, we're playing weak for the first hour." David watched as the Council fleet began to move. They were being so obvious about it, so sure of their superiority. They had no idea they were walking into a trap. The first Council ships entered Mars orbit 40 minutes later. They started firing at the primitive defense turrets. The turrets fired back with deliberately weak shots, missing more often than hitting. "They're buying it," David reported, watching the enemy communications. "They think this is all we have." The Council ships moved closer, getting sloppier with their formations. Their commanders were sending proud messages about how easily they were defeating the humans. Then the hour was up. "Now," Anna commanded, her voice stern. "Show them what Mars can really do." The weak defense turrets suddenly powered up to full strength. Hidden bunkers opened to reveal advanced missile batteries. A planetary shield, far beyond what the Council thought humans could build, flickered to life around the entire colony. "Incoming transmission from Admiral Hayes," a communications officer announced. The Admiral appeared on screen again. "Colonel Wilson, Is our guest's attention properly occupied? Yes, sir, Anna replied with a slight smile. Excellent. The fleet is moving in. Let's make this quick and clean. David watched in awe as human ships appeared all around the Council fleet. They had been hiding in plain sight, using technology that made them invisible to Council sensors. The trap was sprung. Admiral Hayes' voice echoed through all channels, broadcasting to the Council ships. You were warned. You chose not to listen. Let this be your first lesson in human warfare. The battle that followed was short and decisive. Caught between Mars' defenses and Earth's hidden fleet, the Council ships never stood a chance. In less than 20 minutes, the entire attack force had either surrendered or been destroyed. David sat back in his chair, finally allowing himself to breathe normally. They really thought we were helpless. Anna placed a hand on his shoulder. That's the thing about humans, Lieutenant. We've learned from our own history. We don't show all our cards until we have to. She looked at the tactical display, now showing the captured Council vessels. And we always prepare for the worst. The battle for Mars was over. But everyone knew this was just the beginning of a much larger war. The Council would not take this defeat lightly. But now they knew that humanity was far from the easy target they had imagined. Commander Susan Blake stood on the bridge of the UES Normandy, watching the stars blur past as they raced toward their target. After the Council's failed attack on Mars, it was time for humanity to strike back. Captain Foster sat in her command chair, studying the latest reports. All systems ready, Captain, Susan reported. The quantum fold drive is working perfectly. Everyone on the bridge tried to hide their smiles. The Council thought human ships used simple light-speed engines. They had no idea about the quantum fold drive, a technology that let human ships jump instantly across vast distances. Time to target, Captain Foster asked. 3 minutes to the Council's main supply base, Susan answered. They still think we're 8 days away at normal speed. The Council base was deep in their territory. It supplied weapons and ships to a quarter of their fleet, and in 3 minutes it would learn about humanity's real power. Message from Fleet Command, the communications officer said. Other strike teams are in position. They're waiting for our signal. Captain Foster nodded. This wasn't just one attack. Human ships were ready to hit 5 Council bases at the same time. Status of our new shields. Running at full power, Chief Engineer Brian Martinez called from his station. Those new crystals we found on Europa make them twice as strong as before. The bridge crew worked smoothly, each person knowing their job. They had trained for years for this moment. The Council thought humanity was new to space travel, but Earth had been preparing for war for decades. Quantum fold drive spinning up, the helm officer announced. Jump in 30 seconds. Susan checked her tactical display one last time. The plan was simple but clever. Jump in, hit hard, jump out. Show the Council that nowhere in their empire was safe from human ships. 10 seconds, the helm counted down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The stars outside twisted, and suddenly they were there. The Council base filled their view. A massive station floating in space, surrounded by defense satellites and patrol ships. They're still not on alert, Susan reported, checking her screens. They have no idea we're here. All weapons free, Captain Foster ordered calmly. Hit their command center first. The Normandy's decorative panel slid open again, revealing rows of advanced weapons. But this time, they had some new surprises installed. Firing main guns, Susan announced. Beams of blue energy shot from the Normandy, slicing through the base's outer defenses like they were made of paper. Council ships scrambled to respond, but they were too slow. Second volley ready, Susan reported. Target locked on their power core. The Council base finally started firing back, but their shots bounced off the Normandy shields. Brian had been right. The new shield crystals made them nearly invincible. Look at their communications, the intel officer laughed. They're panicking. They can't believe one ship is doing this much damage. Captain Foster allowed herself a small smile. Let's give them something else to worry about. Launch the new missiles. Susan pressed the launch controls. Special missiles, designed by human engineers using secrets learned from studying alien technology, shot toward the base. They phased right through the Council's shields, something that should have been impossible. Direct hits. Susan called out. Their power core is failing. Base defenses are down. The Council base was in chaos. Escape pods launched in all directions as the station began to break apart. The patrol ships tried to fight back, but they had never faced anything like the Normandy. Message intercepted. The communications officer reported. They're begging their high command for help. Saying we're using impossible technology. Send the signal to the other strike teams, Captain Foster ordered. Time to show the Council that humanity can hit them anywhere. All across Council space, human ships appeared near their targets. 5 major bases attacked at the same time, all taken completely by surprise. The Council's mighty defense network was falling apart in less than an hour. Base is breaking up, Susan reported. Should we finish it? Captain Foster shook her head. No. Let the survivors spread the word. Let them tell everyone what one human ship did to their impregnable base. Quantum fold drive ready for jump, the helm reported. Take us home, Foster ordered. Mission accomplished. The Normandy vanished as quickly as it had appeared, leaving behind a destroyed base and a lot of very scared Council officers. Within hours, news of the attacks spread across Council space. The message was clear. Humanity wasn't just defending itself anymore, it was hitting back. In her quarters later, Susan looked at the battle recordings. 6 minutes. That's all it had taken to destroy one of the Council's biggest bases. She wondered what they would think when they learned this was just the beginning of humanity's response. On the peaceful planet Mirax, Ambassador Jack Wilson sat in a secret meeting with 3 alien leaders. The room was hidden deep underground, away from Council spies. 2 weeks had passed since humanity's attacks on the Council bases, and things were changing fast. So you're saying humans built all this technology yourselves? Asked Zen, a tall alien with silver fur. He was a Mirax XI elder, one of many who were tired of Council rule. Most of it, Jack explained. We had help from things we found in our solar system. Old ruins, strange crystals, abandoned ships. But we studied them carefully and made them better. The second alien, a Valorian named Kira, leaned forward. Her blue scales shimmered in the dim light. The Council told us humans were primitive, but you destroyed 5 bases in one day. The Council lies about many things, Jack said simply, just like they lied to your people when they conquered you. The third alien, a small green-skinned creature called Pax, nodded sadly. 300 years they've ruled us. They take our resources, use our people as workers, and tell us it's for our own good. Jack opened his tablet and showed them images from the recent battles. The aliens watched in amazement as the UES Normandy and other human ships easily defeated Council forces. But how did you hide all this? Kira asked. The Council watches everything. Jack smiled. They watch the things they expect to see. They look for big shipyards, massive factories, obvious weapon tests. We built everything in secret, inside asteroids, under our oceans, hidden in plain sight. A light flashed on Jack's communicator. "Excuse me," he said, reading the message. His eyes widened. It seems the Council just learned another lesson about underestimating humans. He showed them a new video. A Council attack fleet had just tried to hit Earth's moon base. They had brought 100 ships, thinking it would be enough. They were wrong. The video showed human ships appearing from secret docks inside the moon itself. New weapons, never seen before, turned Council ships into floating scrap. The battle lasted 10 minutes. "Your weapons," Zen whispered. "They cut through Council shields like they aren't even there." Chief Engineer Martinez's latest design, Jack explained. He studied Council shield technology and found its weakness. The Council hasn't improved their shields in 1,000 years. They just made them bigger and stronger. But bigger isn't always better. Pax stood up, his large eyes serious. My people are ready to fight. We've been ready for years. But we need help. Weapons, ships, training. That's why I'm here, Jack said. Earth is offering help to any species that wants to break free from the Council. We can share our technology, teach you how to build your own ships. The Council will try to stop us, Kira warned. They'll kill anyone who rebels. Jack's face turned serious. They'll try. But they can't be everywhere at once. And they've never fought a war on multiple fronts before. He showed them another set of plans, hidden factories that could be built underwater or underground. New shield designs that could protect whole cities. Weapons that could be made from common materials. We're not asking you to fight our war for us, Jack explained. We're offering you a chance to fight your own war, for your freedom. Earth will help, but these will be your victories. The three aliens looked at each other. Centuries of Council rule had made them careful, but centuries of oppression had also made them angry. Zen spoke first. The Maraxexi people vote yes. We will fight. The Valorians stand with you, Kira added. Our scientists are eager to work with humans. My people, the Glicks, have waited too long already, Pax said firmly. We're ready. Jack sent a coded message to Earth. First agreements confirmed. Operation Avalanches go. Within hours, human technical teams began arriving through hidden quantum fold jumps. They carried tools, plans, and hope. Earth had spent years preparing not just for war, but for this moment, helping others break free. In his quarters later, Jack watched more reports come in. 3 more species had secretly contacted Earth, asking for help. The Council's empire was starting to crack. They thought crushing Earth would be easy, he said to himself. Instead, we're going to help free every species they've enslaved. The ripples from humanity's resistance were turning into waves. And soon, those waves would turn into a flood that would wash away the Council's power forever. Major Lisa Peterson crouched in the shadows of a massive Council archive building. Her stealth suit made her almost invisible in the dark. 2 other members of her special operations team, Ryan and Kate, waited nearby. They had spent 3 months planning this mission. Security patrol passing. Ryan whispered through their secure comms. 15 seconds. Lisa checked her equipment one last time. They were deep in Council space, on their capital world. If they got caught here, there would be no rescue. Clear, Kate reported as the guards walked past. We have 4 minutes until the next patrol. Lisa moved fast, placing a small device on the archive's wall. It was a new type of scanner that could see through solid metal. On her display, she could now see inside the building. Target located, she said quietly. The main data core is 3 floors down. Just like our source said. Their source was a Council worker who hated what his government did to other species. He had told them about this place, where the Council kept their biggest secrets. Security systems mark, Ryan reported. He was their tech expert, ready to loop their cameras on your signal. Lisa took a deep breath. Begin Operation Truth. Execute in 3, 2, 1. All at once, several things happened. The security cameras started showing fake footage. The guard station's computers crashed, and a small part of the wall simply disappeared, thanks to human phase shift technology. 2 minutes to get to the core. Lisa reminded her team as they slipped inside. Move. They ran silently through the dark halls. Their suits hid them from cameras and motion sensors. Soon they reached a heavy door marked with Council symbols. 30 seconds, Kate warned, watching their timer. Ryan pulled out another device, something that looked like a small silver disc. He placed it on the door's lock. There was a soft hum, and the lock clicked open. Inside was a room full of glowing data crystals. Each one held thousands of Council secrets. Lisa moved to the central console while Ryan and Kate kept watch. Downloading now, Lisa said, connecting their special computer. Let's see what the Council's been hiding all these years. Numbers and images flashed across her screen. With each new file, her eyes got wider. Oh my God, she whispered. We were right. They've been lying about everything. The data showed the truth. The Council hadn't invented most of their technology. They had stolen it from other species they later conquered or destroyed. Their great empire was built on theft and lies. Major, Kate called softly. 2 minutes until the next guard shift. Lisa kept downloading. She found files about ancient weapons, hidden worlds, and advanced technology the Council kept for themselves. But most importantly, she found proof of their crimes. They're going to pay for this, she said, copying the last files. Every species they hurt will know the truth. 1 minute, Ryan warned. Lisa disconnected their computer and erased all signs of their hack. The team slipped out of the room, moving fast but quiet. They reached their exit point with 20 seconds to spare. The wall phase shifted again, letting them pass through like ghosts. As soon as they were outside, everything returned to normal. Clear, Kate reported as they moved away from the building. No alarms, no shouts, no sign they had ever been there. Hours later, on their hidden ship, Lisa sent the data to Earth Command. Then she called the UES Normandy. Captain Foster's face appeared on the screen. Major Peterson, I assume you have something for us. More than we hoped for, Captain, Lisa replied. We found everything. Proof of their crimes, their stolen technology, even their military codes. The Council's been lying to everyone for thousands of years. Foster smiled. Excellent work, Major. Admiral Hayes is preparing a galaxy-wide broadcast. Every species under Council control will learn the truth at the same time. How do you think they'll react? Lisa asked. According to our allies, there are already rebellions starting on 20 worlds. Once they see this proof, Foster's smile grew wider. Well, let's just say the Council's going to have a very bad day. After the call ended, Lisa looked at her team. They were tired but proud. Their mission would help free billions of people. Get some rest, she told them. Soon every news channel in the galaxy will broadcast what we found. And then the real fighting begins. As their ship headed home, hidden by their advanced stealth systems, Lisa thought about all the species the Council had hurt. Soon they would have justice. Soon they would be free. The Council's power had always depended on their lies. Now, thanks to one small human team, those lies were about to be exposed to everyone. Admiral Robert Hayes stood before the largest screen in Earth's Defense Command Center. He waited as technicians made final checks on the broadcast system. The data Major Peterson's team had stolen was about to change everything. All channels ready, sir, said his communications officer. We can reach every screen, every device in Council space. Any attempts to block us? Hayes asked. No, sir. They still don't know we broke their codes. We can override all their systems. Hayes nodded. Behind him, Captain Foster of the Normandy and representatives from 20 alien species waited. They had all seen the proof. Now it was time for everyone else to see it too. Begin transmission, Hayes ordered. Across the galaxy, on thousands of worlds, regular broadcasts suddenly stopped. Instead, people saw Hayes standing tall in his uniform. People of the galaxy, he began, I am Admiral Robert Hayes of Earth. What you are about to see is the truth about your rulers. The Council has lied to you for thousands of years. The screen split, showing documents and videos from the stolen files. Hayes continued. They didn't create the technology they used to rule you. They stole it. They didn't earn their power. They took it by force. On the Council's capital world, alarms started blaring. High Commander Zaxthor watched in horror as their secrets played on every screen. Shut it down. He screamed at his technicians. Stop this transmission. We can't. One replied, panicking. They're using our own systems against us. Back on Earth, Hayes showed more proof. "Watch this," he said, playing a recording of council leaders planning to attack peaceful worlds. They attack any species that grows too strong, too independent. They keep you weak on purpose. On planet after planet, people stopped what they were doing to watch. They saw proof of how the council had hurt their ancestors, stolen their inventions, and kept them down. But humanity found out their secrets, Hayes continued. We prepared. We built our own technology. And when they tried to conquer us, we fought back. He showed clips from recent battles. Human ships defeating council forces, freeing captured worlds, helping other species fight back. Look at what they keep in their private bases, Hayes said. The screen showed massive warehouses full of advanced technology. They have cures for diseases they let you suffer from. They have better food production systems while your people go hungry. They have it all, and they keep it from you. On the Valorian homeworld, Kira watched crowds gather in the streets. People were angry, shouting, demanding answers from their council rulers. Humanity makes you this offer, Hayes announced. Join us. Fight back. We will share what we know. We will help you be free. The council is not as strong as they want you to believe. He showed more battle footage. Council ships running away from human forces. Council leaders surrendering. Council bases falling. Even now, they try to lie to you, Hayes said. They call us primitives. They say we're dangerous. But ask yourself, who really threatens your freedom? The humans who want to help you fight back, or the council who has enslaved you for centuries? Suddenly, new images appeared on the broadcast. Live footage from across council space showed riots breaking out. Council buildings were burning. Council ships were being attacked by their own crews. It's working, Captain Foster reported, checking reports from their allies. Rebellions are starting everywhere. The council's forces are stretched too thin. Hayes made his final offer. To all council military forces watching this, you have a choice. Surrender to human forces or face justice from your own people. You have 1 hour to decide. The broadcast ended. For a moment, the command center was quiet. Then reports started flooding in. Sir, the communications officer called out. Council ships are surrendering all across the sector. Whole fleets are standing down. 3 council worlds have already overthrown their leaders, another officer reported. They're asking for human protection from council loyalists. Captain Foster watched the updates with satisfaction. The council's entire empire is falling apart in less than a day, she said, just because people finally learned the truth. Hayes looked at the giant display showing the galaxy map. Red dots showing council control were turning green one by one as worlds declared their freedom. Send in our peacekeeping forces to protect the freed worlds, he ordered, and get me a direct line to the council capital. I think it's time we had another chat with High Commander Zaxthor about surrender terms. The council had ruled through lies for thousands of years. Now, thanks to humanity showing everyone the truth, their power was crumbling like a house of cards in a storm. Captain Emily Foster stood on the bridge of the UES Normandy, watching history unfold. 1 month had passed since Admiral Hayes revealed the Council's secrets. Now she led a massive fleet of ships from 30 different species toward the Council's capital world. All ships report ready, Captain, Commander Susan Blake announced. The tactical display showed hundreds of vessels, human ships flying alongside their new allies. Hard to believe it's almost over, said Lieutenant David Cooper, who had transferred from Mars Command to join the Normandy's crew. Just 3 months ago, they thought they could conquer Earth. Emily smiled, remembering their first meeting with the Council. They thought we were primitive. Now they're hiding in their last fortress. The Council capital world appeared ahead of them. Once it had been the center of their empire. Now it was their last stronghold. Most Council leaders had already surrendered, but High Commander Zaxthor and his loyalists refused to give up. Message from the Valorian ships, the communications officer reported. Commander Kira says their forces are in position. Miraxixi fleet also ready, another officer added. Elder Zen's ships are standing by. Emily opened a channel to the entire fleet. All ships, this is Captain Foster. Today we end the Council's reign of terror. Remember, we want to capture them, not destroy them. They must face justice for their crimes. The fleet moved forward. Council defense stations opened fire, but their weapons were useless against the combined technology of 30 species working together. They're launching fighters, Susan reported. Hundreds of them. Let them come, Emily ordered. Show them what real unity looks like. The battle that followed was short but spectacular. Council fighters found themselves facing ships with technology from a dozen different worlds. Human quantum drives working with Valorian shields. Mirax 6 weapons powered by Glick's energy systems. Council defenses failing, David reported. Their ships are retreating to the surface. Emily nodded. Begin landing operations. Major Peterson's teams are ready. On the planet below, Lisa Peterson led the ground assault. Special forces from Earth, Mirax, Valoria, and 10 other worlds moved through the Council's capital city. They faced little resistance. Most Council forces had already surrendered. Central Command building ahead, Lisa reported over the comm. Zax Thor is inside. Remember, Emily's voice came back. We want him alive. Lisa's team reached the building's main door. Inside, they found Council leaders trying to destroy evidence. Too late for that. Lisa told them as her team took them into custody. We already have all your secrets. High Commander Zax Thor sat in his chamber, watching screens showing his empire falling apart. When Lisa's team entered, he didn't even look surprised. How? He asked simply. How did primitives like you defeat us? Because we're not primitive, Lisa answered. We just didn't show you everything we could do. You were so busy looking down on everyone, you never looked behind you. Hours later, Emily stood in the Council's Great Hall, the room where Council leaders had once ordered the conquest of peaceful worlds, now held representatives from all their former victims. Admiral Hayes addressed the gathering. The war is over. The Council's reign has ended. Now we must build something better. One by one, representatives from different species stepped forward. They signed a new agreement, the Articles of the Galactic Coalition. Earth had helped write it, making sure every species would have equal rights and representation. Let this be remembered, Hayes continued, as the day the galaxy became truly free. Not under humanity's rule, but under the rule of law and justice. Emily watched as former enemies became allies, signing treaties and sharing technology. The Normandy's crew stood proudly nearby. They had helped start this revolution with their first act of defiance. Captain, Susan called softly. Look. Outside the great windows, ships from dozens of worlds flew in formation. At their center was the Normandy, the ship that had shown everyone the Council could be beaten. Message from Earth Command, the communications officer said. They're ready for the ceremony. Emily nodded. In 1 hour, the first meeting of the new Galactic Coalition would begin. Earth would have a seat at the table, but only as equals with everyone else. You know, David said, watching alien children playing in the courtyard below, I think this is what humanity was meant to do. Not to rule the galaxy, but to help make it free. Emily smiled. The Council had thought humanity would be easy to conquer. Instead, humans had united the galaxy and helped overthrow an empire. Not with just military might, but with truth, justice, and the simple idea that everyone deserved to be free. The dawn of a new era had begun, and this time, every species would face the future together.